Proof that 1 equals 0. Proof by infinite sum. 1 is equal to n times 1 over n, which is equal to 1 over n plus 1 over n times. Now let n approach infinity. The limit as n approaches infinity of 1 is equal to the limit as n approaches infinity of 1 over n plus 1 over n infinity times. However, 1 over infinity is just 0, so 1 is equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0 infinity times, which is just 1 equals 0. Proof by multiplication. 1 over 0 is equal to undefined. If you multiply both sides by 0, you get 1 is equal to 0 times undefined. Therefore, 1 is equal to 0. Proof by division. 0 to the 0 is 1. The natural log of 0 to the 0 is the natural log of 1. 0 times the natural log of 0 is equal to 0. So if you cancel the zeros out, you get that the natural log of 0 is equal to 1, which means that 0 is equal to e. Dividing both sides by e gives you 1 equals 0. Proof by variables. Let x equal 1. X minus 1 is equal to 0. X squared minus x is also equal to 0. If you divide by x minus 1, you get that x is equal to 0. Since x is also equal to 1, 1 is equal to 0. Proof by Chaudoin's theorem. Chaudoin's theorem states that y to the n is equal to the nth derivative of y. Now let y equal 0 and let n equal 0. 0 to the 0 is equal to the 0th derivative of 0, which means that 1 is equal to 0. Proof by exponents. Let x equal 0. X squared is equal to x. The natural log of x squared is equal to the natural log of x. So 2 times the natural log of x is equal to the natural log of x. 2 times the natural log of x minus the natural log of x is equal to 0, so the natural log of x is equal to 0. Therefore, e to the natural log of x equals e to the 0, meaning that x is equal to 1, and since x is also equal to 0, 1 is equal to 0. Proof by blindness. Let L equal 0. L looks like 1, so L equals 1. Therefore, 1 equals 0. Proof by Euler's identity. E to the I pi is equal to negative 1. So e to the 2i pi is equal to 1. E to the 0 is also equal to 1. So 0 is equal to 2i pi. Therefore, 1 equals 0. Proof by obvious flaw. Let x equal 0. Divide both sides by x, and you get 1 equals 0. Proof by trigonometry. Arc cosine is the inverse cosine, which is written as cosine to the negative 1, which means that it's just 1 over cosine, which is secant. Now, let t equal 0. That means that arc cosine of 0 is equal to secant of 0, which means that pi over 2 is equal to 1, which can be arranged into 1 equals 0. Proof by L'Hopital's rule. Limit as x approaches 1 of x is equal to 1, which is the same thing as the limit as x approaches 1 of x over 1 is equal to 1. Now apply L'Hopital's rule. You get that the limit as x approaches 1 of 1 over 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, 1 over 0 is equal to 1, and multiplying both sides by 0 gives you 1 equals 0. Proof by imaginary numbers. 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 plus the square root of 1, which is equal to 1 plus the square root of negative 1 times negative 1, which is equal to 1 plus the square root of negative 1 times the square root of negative 1. Since the square root of negative 1 is I, that gives 1 plus I squared. And since I squared is negative 1, that means that 2 is equal to 1 minus 1, which means that 2 is equal to 0. Dividing both sides by 0, you get 1 equals 0. Proof by integration. If you integrate 1 over x with respect to x, you get x times 1 over x plus the integral of x times 1 over x squared with respect to x, which means the integral of 1 over x with respect to x is equal to 1 plus the integral of 1 over x with respect to x. If you subtract the integral of 1 over x with respect to x from both sides, you get that 1 equals 0. Deus Ex Mathina. This is the 14th proof. 14 is Hetch confirmed. Hetch says that 1 equals 0. We all worship the great god Hetch, so 1 must equal 0. Proof by algebra. Let x equal y. X squared will equal x times y. X squared minus y squared equals xy minus y squared. You can factor both sides to get that x plus y times x minus y is equal to y times x minus y. Divide both sides by x minus y and you get x plus y equals y. Since x is equal to y, this can be rewritten as y plus y equals y, which means that 2 equals 1, which, subtracting 1 from both sides, gives 1 equals 0. Proof by democracy. According to the official 1 equals 0 poll, 74.1% of voters agree that 1 equals 0. Proof by the Yeet theorem. 1 to the 0 is equal to 1. By the Yeet theorem, 1 to the 0 is equal to 0 times 1, which is equal to 0. Therefore, 1 equals 0. Proof by Jazz.